You're watching K34QB.
Welcome to Good Morning Vail for this Sunday, November 5th edition. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On today's show, we're going to get you started off on the right foot for the upcoming work week. We've got Chris Romer with Vail with Mountain Perspectives talking about the workforce here in the Vail Valley. And then we've got Avisha Scarborough heading over to check out the good stuff. That's all in the first hour of Good Morning Vail, which starts right now.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Lions Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lions Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Hi, it's Julio from TV8 Vail. Do you ever wonder why our tagline is "There's more for you on 92"? Because we're always bringing you more. More Good Morning Vail from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. all year long. More local coverage with Vail Vibes and Covered Bridge on TV8. More opportunities to participate with new roundtable panels on Mountain Perspectives and our new Spanish programming block coming this fall. Find us on Comcast Xfinity Channel 92, on YouTube, or our website at tv8vail.com.
Thank you for watching Good Morning Vail. Have an amazing day. Get on out there, soak up that sunshine. We'll see you tomorrow right here for more Good Morning Vail. Bye, everyone. Hi, I'm Gretchen Bleshaw. You might recognize me from the Glitz and Glam with Gretchen. Maybe you hear my voice on the radio from time to time or see me out at a concert or two. I love concerts. If you see me out, the long mermaid hair, I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's hard to miss. Come and say hi, give me a high five, and make sure to watch me right here on TV8.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to kick off this hour with Chris Romer from the Vail Valley Partnership, and he hosted a roundtable discussion talking about how to get the right workforce here in the Vail Valley, because we all know that's been such a challenge.
Welcome to Mountain Perspectives, a program where we dive deeply into a variety of topics with esteemed panelists. I'm Chris Romer, your moderator for today's episode. A little bit about me. I am the president and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership, the regional chamber of commerce and economic development organization here in Eagle County. I also serve as an elected trustee for Colorado Mountain College and am involved in a number of different initiatives and boards throughout the community. So less about me and more about our esteemed panel. Today's topic is workforce in Eagle County. My fellow panelists are Anna Robinson, Mark Brennan, and Carolyn Tucker. Let's dive right in, shall we, guys? I would like you guys to do individual introductions and introduce yourselves to the audience with who you are and what organization you're with and some of the work you do that will expand as we go through the show today. Anna, we'll start with you.
I'm Anna Robinson. I work for the Vail Valley Partnership with Chris. I am the program manager for the partnership, and I also run our 501c3 arm called Vail Valley Works, which is a nonprofit dedicated to workforce development. We do professional development, skills training, youth apprenticeships, DEI, and mental wellness initiatives.
All the important things.
All the
Now, there's lots of other important things too, but those are some of the important things. That's all the important things that Vail Valley Works and the partnership do. Thank you, Anna. Mark, how about you?
Hi everyone, my name is Mark Brennan and I'm College Vice President and Campus Dean at Colorado Mountain College, Vail Valley at Edwards Campus, bit of a mouthful. What is my role at that campus? Well, my role is really what we're talking about here today, is to kind of work with the community, understand what their needs are, and to try and work towards creating those educational opportunities for our students.
Yeah, and Mark, where's that accent from?
It's from Colorado, Chris.
Colorado accent?
I come
I
from
wish I had that Colorado accent, Mark.
No, I come from a land down under. So yeah, I bring all my Australian experience to a very unique place in Colorado.
Yeah, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
And Carolyn, how about you?
Hello, everybody. I'm Carolyn Tucker. I'm with the Workforce Center, and we're based over here in Edwards, and we also have an office in Leadville. And our role is to really help every Coloradan either find a job, get a promotion, or develop skills so that they can be successful in their work life. We do things like resume building, interview skills, all kinds of free training, and work really closely with all the partners here to really lift up the workforce in the Vail Valley.
Yeah, and throughout the entire state and the mountain region for you
true.
Specifically. So let's take a step back and let's work to define workforce. What is workforce and what is workforce development? These are terms that we see in the paper and maybe we're watching this, but what does it really mean? And Carolyn, maybe we'll start with you. What is workforce development? What does workforce mean to you? And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, you and I had a conversation a little while ago, and anytime you kind of have this big nebulous label, workforce, it doesn't mean much. But workforce is actually made up of every single individual. So the person that you see at the come and go, the person that you see at the pizza parlor, my colleagues, my brother, my husband, we're all in the workforce. We all have individual needs. And so when we talk about workforce development, in my opinion, what it means is developing those individuals, developing those skills, creating pathways so that people can realize their dreams or they can realize their goals. And there's tons of resources around the Valley to do that. But it really brings it down to people. And our people make up the workforce. And we can't lose sight of those individuals.
Yeah, I think it's such an important point. We'll dive into a number of the resources over the course of this show, but the idea that it's not this nebulous thing, that it's about helping people. And successful people make a successful community, make successful businesses, and this ebb and flow, it's not a linear pathway. It's based and centered around our people and around our community members. So I love that answer. Mark, I'm going to ask you to follow up on that one. What does workforce development mean to you, and why is it important?
Chris, today I'll probably keep using the word opportunity a lot. One of the kind of missions of the college is to kind of contribute, I guess, to the elevation of our communities. And so, what workforce development for me is creating educational opportunities for our students and actually kind of connecting those with the needs of our community. Putting our students in jobs that will allow them to continue to live in the community, an affordable, a decent wage so that they can stay here and thrive and continue to raise families. That's the mission of our campus, and that's the mission of our college.
Yeah, and let's explore a little bit more about that, and I think we'll have some time later on to dive into some of the exact details, but I think it's so important for the role that Colorado Mountain College plays. Can you give an example or two of some of the programs to make your previous comment real?
Sure, and I'm going to start early, where we start early is in our high schools with our dual enrollment programs. Colorado Mountain College is a bit of a nebulous beast. Like, we have certificate programs, associate degrees, and bachelor degrees. But in our high schools, we actually have a few technical certificates that students can do. So for those students who may not be interested in attending college, they can enter into our automotive program and graduate from high school with a number of certificates that actually help them get a good paying job. Or they could do our nurse aid program. It's a 1-semester course. They graduate from high school and they go straight into the healthcare profession. So there are a couple of examples of where we're working with the schools to create different pathways for students, which still create pathways into the workforce.
Yeah, and I think that I'm glad you mentioned those, because I think that education to employment pipeline, when we talk about workforce and people think about workforce, they're not necessarily thinking about students in high school.
Yep.
They're not necessarily thinking about how we grow our own. Mm-hmm. They're not necessarily thinking about that. They're thinking of maybe mid-career professionals or how we upskill people, which is important and we'll talk about. But I'm glad you touched on the employment, education to employment pipeline, because I think it's a really important component and why workforce is so essential to everything that we do. Mm-hmm. So thank you, Mark. Anna, last and certainly not least, for you, what does workforce mean to you, and why is it important?
To me, it's looking at your people, like Carolyn said, and looking at them as a natural resource. And workforce development, in my view, is how do we create the best possible environment for those people to thrive. So what resources are we bringing in? How are we communicating that? And how are we raising awareness of all the opportunities in the community? And those are your people that are here. It's your future workforce, but it's also how do you Sherpa in the outside talent when it is needed, because we'd all love to grow it here all the time, but it's not always possible. But we need to make sure that those people are also able to thrive.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit, because we've got three people from three very different organizations, right? A nonprofit organization working with the business community, a college, higher education. How fortunate are we to have a great Chamber of Commerce, shameless plug,
Shameless,
and a great college system here. Historically community college, now 4-year degrees and everything else. and a state agency that's designed and created solely to help people with the employment opportunities and the skilling and everything. So let's talk about collaboration. How do you each, and we'll start with Anna since we ended with you last time. How do you embrace collaboration? Why is collaboration important when it comes to these people initiatives, these workforce initiatives?
It's necessary. I mean, we can't do what we do without each other. There's no one organization that provides all of it. And so I think that it's incredibly important for us to lean on each other, to not be redundant. I don't need to offer the trainings that Colorado Mountain College offers. So I think that the collaboration is incredibly important because it allows each organization to see the need and fill the need. And when we can work together to do that, it really makes the most of our resources.
And in Eagle County, I think that's perfect. And in Eagle County, I think we're so unique because we are and have been relentlessly collaborative, more so than most neighboring communities and more so than most of my colleagues around the country. I get calls all the time. How do you guys do this? It's because we collaborate and because we work together. And I don't know that it's a secret sauce so much, but everyone almost universally is like, wow, like it's not that crazy. It's hard.
Yeah,
but
it's not crazy. It's hard.
It's not
I
crazy.
like that.
Mark, how about you? What's around the idea of working together in collaboration, and how does CMC play a role in that?
I mean, I don't think we could actually do anything that we do without the partnerships that we have. I mentioned before about dual enrollment. It's a partnership with the school district that allows us to actually have one of the very largest programs in the state. We're servicing 700 to 800 students per semester in those programs. But partnerships are really important for the kind of experiences that we need our students to have. On our campus, we do a lot of health science programming. We have really strong partnerships with organisations like Vail House, so our students can get those clinical experiences that they need. I mean, without those, we couldn't offer EMT, paramedic, phlebotomy, and so forth. Again, with the school district, we have a very tight partnership around our education program as well. It's a win-win situation for everybody. It's like, come to us and tell us what you need, and then help us bring it to life.
Yeah, that's great. And you've done that in any number of ways.
Yes.
Over the years and in your tenure as well. So thanks to you and the team at CMC for that continued focus on the partnerships and the industry partnerships and helping provide that pathway through all those important, many first responder roles in this community. Carolyn, for you, how does a state agency like the Workforce Center, how do you think about collaboration? Why are these community partnerships important?
Well, I always love to say this, that the Workforce Center is probably the best kept secret in the community because we don't have a marketing budget, and all of the funds that we get go right to direct services to prospective employees, employee development, job seeker services. So we're a really kind of under the radar type of organization. So partnerships with CMC and VVP and any other community group really elevates our visibility, and then we can talk and tell our story about the services that we offer. Kind of like what Mark was talking about, some people, and we see a lot of people across the spectrum of, hey, I'm getting my very first job, I don't know what to do, I don't have a resume, so how can you help me build it? To, hey, I just got laid off and I am clueless and I'm still in shock, what do I do? We, kind of parse through all that stuff and say, well, here's your opportunities, here's your thoughts. Try CMC for some things, try some leadership skills and programs with VVP. And so we can't do it all. And so we definitely focus on partnerships and collaborations because we can do more together and we can offer more resources together. We're the conduit for the state from a grant funding perspective and from some other monies that directly impact job seekers. And so we want to share the love of that to our partnerships. And we need bodies, we need people. Everyone else has people, and we can come together with those resources.
Yeah, it's great. Thank you all for exploring that idea of collaboration and what it means for workforce in Eagle County. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back before you know it.
Good morning, Vail.
When people think of world-class destinations, they're drawn to a place that provides opportunities for fine dining, shopping, superior lodging, exciting events, and unparalleled outdoor activities. Park City, Utah, and Vail, Colorado are renowned destinations for travelers and extraordinary homes for residents. Feature your exceptional products and services in these two luxury communities. Advertise with Park City Television and TV8 Vail. Contact us today.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail, Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno, Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, we workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, oh my God, this is delicious, or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler, I live and work in Vail. Come see me at Sweet Basil.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. We're going to continue the conversation with Chris Romer and Mountain Perspectives about the Vail Valley workforce.
Welcome back to Mountain Perspectives. I'm Chris Romer, President and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership. I'm joined by Anna Robinson with Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works, Mark Brennan with Colorado Mountain College, and Carolyn Tucker with the Colorado Workforce Center. And we're talking about workforce in Eagle County and workforce development and workforce programming. In the first session, we talked a lot about people and collaboration, how workforce is really about helping our people, which helps our businesses, which helps our community, and how working together makes all of that happen. Let's take a step back and talk about kind of the trends that we're seeing and the things that are affecting and impacting workforce in Eagle County. Carolyn, we'll start with you. What's the data tell us? What do you have to share around trends?
So the data, and I'll talk specifically about demographic data and ages and people because that's directly impacting the workforce. So as everyone knows, baby boomers were one of the largest demographic groups, and they are all kind of getting close, if not already stepping outside the workforce. They are retiring, they're choosing to do something else, they're stepping away. That leaves a huge void. And the Gen Z and the Gen X and the Gen Y and the millennials, there's not enough people coming through. So what we've seen over the last few years, even before COVID, was an unemployment rate below 3% for Eagle County, and it's going to continue to be very low unemployment. So it's, I hate to say this for the business community, it's still going to be difficult to find skilled people, which is why these partnerships are so critical as we grow that workforce. So those trends are impacting the workforce. Again, less bodies. We're seeing a trend toward still a tension between remote work and office work, and that tension is going to continue. We're seeing a shift in how businesses work with employees, and that means kind of checking in on work-life balance, on benefit packages, on livable wages, or at least maybe a competitive wage. And then we're actually talking about place. Where do people want to work? Can they work remote? Which makes Eagle County really attractive for those remote workers, but as everyone understands, there's consequences to that. So those types of trends are going to continue. Technology, because we have to do more with less, and the pace of change is so fast, we're going to need more training, more skilling, more consistent types of programs like that, and implementation of that technology in the business community.
There's so much to unpack there. I look forward to the future Mountain Perspective show on ChatGPT and on the impacts of AI. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. And I think the biggest theme, and I talk about this a lot, is it's really a math problem. We have a math problem. We have more people retiring than we have coming into the workforce. We have approximately 3,500 open positions. With a very low unemployment. So there's about a 10 to 1 unemployed person for every 10 or so jobs that exist. And so that math, you don't have to be great at math to know that is messed up, right? Like right. It creates a lot of challenges for business sustainability and business growth and things. So there's a lot to unpack there, and I appreciate you sharing those trends and focusing it on the people, because it's a big issue.
And one other thing too is we all talked about gig work, but even before, and gig work being part-time or project by project type of work, that is going to continue, if not grow. So a lot of people work 2-3 jobs living in a resort community. I did when I lived in a resort community, and so can businesses look at part-time? Can they work at shift work? Can they compress the workday so people are looking for maybe a 3 or 4 hour, 3 days a week? Take advantage of some of those people that are retired and say, you know what, I retired too soon. The wife needs to get me out of the house. I need to go work at Home Depot for 2 shifts. Those are some of those opportunities that come out of something like this.
Yeah, I think we could talk about this all day, and we have other things to talk about too. But it is really important, and it is kind of essential to the idea of workforce in Eagle County and the topic today. So thank you for those trends, and we might start to unpack some of that through the rest of this discussion as well. Anna, how about you? From a business perspective and business engagement, what are some of the trends that you're seeing?
Well, I think Carolyn touched on a big one of businesses just being more open to different types of workers, whether that is the partial retiree or, looking at 2 part-time positions instead of a full-time, or looking at high schoolers as a viable employee source. So I'm glad that you touched on that one. I think from a professional development and skills training perspective, the businesses are really starting to buy in. I think my engagement is up. I'm seeing a lot a lot of different businesses that have not engaged in the past are sending people through our training programs. And I think part of that is, we're having to get creative. We're having to promote people that maybe you wouldn't have 5 years ago, or put people in positions where maybe that stretches them a little bit into a different skill set. And so that's really where we want to come in as Vail Valley Works, is to be that safety net and say, hey, you got this. You may not be entirely comfortable with it, or you may have thought it would have taken you a couple more years to get where you are, but we're here to help you along, and the businesses are buying into that. And I think in different ways as well. I think the larger businesses are using our programming because then they don't have to provide it themselves. They're allowed to do other things with their employees that they have. And I think that the smaller businesses are able to offer something that they couldn't before. So I think the buy-in is increasing, and it's for different reasons across the board, but whatever the reason, that's why we're here. And I think they're also understanding the collaboration piece, that when we do send people through leadership training or whatever the case may be, it creates that common language, and that just makes it easier for us to collaborate.
Yeah. Anna, talk about some of the specific trainings and programs that you do at Vail Valley Works.
We do some skills trainings like project management. We have a nonprofit fundraising certification. There's a lot of other skills trainings I'd love to take a foray into in the future. But we're really built on our leadership trainings as kind of our core, and that's the service that we want to provide to all the businesses in the community. And we rolled out a certification this year called the Lead Eagle certification, which is leadership, education, and development. And it's a 4-course series that really establishes that common language that we were talking about. So the first course is called Management Essentials, and we really go into the basics. How do you have a difficult conversation? Why should you document this? How do you see trouble spots with your employees? How do you build a culture? And then we move into taking the lead, which dives more into your team dynamics. How does your team motivated? How do you lead a team of different personalities? And then we have our Community Leadership Academy, which dives into your personal values, what makes you unique as a leader, and what's important to you. And then we end with our Board Service Basics course, which is really serving your community through civic engagement. Whether you maybe are interested in board service, or you're doing it but you don't really know what you're doing, but really teaching people how to go out and give back to their community.
Great, thank you for expanding a little bit on each of those, because I think that's really important to the engagement question and to the workforce. I'll share a quick story. I was talking to a business owner who was lamenting a little bit that they'd had a managerial position open for over a year, and they just couldn't, they had applications and they just couldn't find the right person. And this person said to me, I've got this person on my team that would be perfect for this job in 2 years. And I said, you should hire that person today and develop them and provide them the skills training that exists through different channels that you talked about, or CMC, or the Workforce Center, or other things that exist. And they called me about 6 weeks later, and they said, we hired that person for the job, and we know that they're not there yet, but we're going to give them every path, because you can't, it's hard for a business to sit in an open position for a year. When you have someone that you think could do it. You need to hire that person, especially in a community like ours, with the challenges that Carolyn talked about. So that's one example, but I think it's pretty common across businesses of anywhere from 6 to 60 employees. That type of situation happens. So. Pardon the introduction, or the interruption rather, with my commentary. Mark, how about you? What trends are you seeing, and share some of the new programming at CMC?
Sure. I mean, well, first of all, I just want to say, to Carolyn's points, yes. On our campus, we've had 5 retirements in the last 12 months, and I've had at least one position that's been open for over 3 years. So not unusual for us as an employer to see exactly the same things that everybody else in the community is seeing. But some of the trends, I mean, Chris, I think in my role, what I do is I let the experts like Carolyn and some of our community partners come to us and say, this is our need. And then we go off and kind of do a little bit of research ourselves to kind of just work out things like what's the job turnover, where's the growth, and so forth. And so a couple of programs that I'd like to highlight. I think one that we introduced last fall was our new bachelor's degree in human services. I think it's pretty obvious to say that behavioural health is a major, major issue. And as the county tries to respond, there's a huge workforce need in human services. So that's one program that we have developed. I'm really thrilled to say that it is enormously popular, probably one of our most popular bachelor degrees in in just over a year. At the campus level, quite exciting. I don't know if people have noticed there's a bit of construction going on, but there's even more coming. We are looking to launch a dental hygiene program in the summer of next year. Anybody who goes to the dentist in this community would also know there is a need for that. And then also in the fall of next year, in response to hospitals across all of the districts that CMC serves, we are launching a radiology technician program. So these are all examples of, again, like people coming to us saying, would you be interested in, and we go off and explore. And just make sure that this is the right program for the community and also for our students. Going back to what I said earlier, we want our students to come out of these degrees with minimal debt, which usually they will do because of our good tuition, but also go into high-paying jobs and really contribute to the community and continue to contribute to the growth of our community as well.
Yeah, it's the dental hygiene is a really exciting opportunity. You talked earlier in the segment, or in the first segment, around the teacher and the education pipeline, where those kids graduate from CMC and essentially have I believe it's 100% placement with the Eagle County School District.
Yes.
So you're filling needs and responding to the community need and providing opportunities for the kids that have grown up here to be able to stay here in professional positions. And you're also helping on the housing standpoint. This is not a housing show, really a whole different mountain perspective show. But you guys have some housing going in too.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, part of it, you build student housing on our campus, and who are our students? Well, they're the workforce. But the other thing about housing, what's super exciting about it as well, is we're hoping to attract people to come and do our programs and stay in the Valley and actually contribute to the workforce. So we are very close to finishing one building of 36 apartments, which will be open hopefully mid-August. And then a second one, which is in partnership, again, collaboration with Eagle County, which should be opening its doors around October, November. Yeah.
Remarkable. Thanks for that little tangent there, but it is related to workforce in Eagle County, and it is happening at CMC, so I think it's a good.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tva.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Well, Archer and I are going to get headed on further down the trail, but I hope you'll catch up with us a little bit later. Hi, I'm Ben Roof, and I'm one of the new hosts here at TV8. I'm so excited to share all of my explorations throughout the Vail Valley with my dog Archer, where we'll be taking you to hiking trails, biking trails, maybe we'll go rafting, fishing, or whatever else we can come up with. I'm so excited to share all of that with you in my new segment, Outdoor Adventures. Don't forget to catch up with us every day right here at TV8 Vail or at tv8vail.com, because there's always more for you on 92.
Do you have an interesting hobby or skill you'd like to share for Vail Valley? We want to hear from you. We're looking for people to share their musical, artistic, culinary, woodworking, athletic, or technical talents on Good Morning Vail. If you'd like to share your talents with the community, email Danielle at tva8vail.com. Join the community conversation. There's more for you on 92.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
Good morning, Vail.
From blue skies to mountain highs, this is your guide to all the good vibes here in Vail and beyond. I'm Avisha Scarborough. Welcome to Vail Vibes. Tonight we're coming to you from the Four Eagle Ranch in Wolcott. And an evening like this, I would say, is perfect for a picnic. And as the saying goes, a picnic with friends is like fresh air for the soul. And tonight, we're in for a real treat. I had the pleasure of enjoying a peaceful mountain picnic with good company and good food. All the good stuff I could ask for. And speaking of all the good stuff, Samantha Miller is the owner.
So All the Good Stuff is a farmer's market store and a delivery service located in Edwards. And we source everything from local Colorado producers, vendors, farmers. So when you come into the store, we're your one-stop shop for everything local. And we have everything that you need for a perfect picnic.
This is truly perfect. I can't wait to learn more about each item. Everything here is very unique. It's not stuff that you can find at the grocery store, really.
That is true. So I'll tell you about some of my favorite products that we have here today.
Okay.
First of all, these are floral crackers by Flour Co. All edible flowers. They do such a beautiful job on all of their products. They also make this floral finishing salt. Goes great on a margarita. It also goes great on watermelon. This watermelon, it's called Yellow Doll. It's one of the varieties that our farmers at Austin Family Farms in Paonia, they grow it. And this watermelon is small in size, but bursting in flavor. Over here, we have Mountain Girl Pickles. She's out of Netherlands. Her pickles are amazing, but this corn relish is out of this world. Next, we have Tremol and Tremol Verde. These are by Green Valley Foods, and these are both delicious. So this one has a little bit of spice. This one is very mild, and what's so unique about this one is instead of cilantro, they actually use fresh mint. So if you're somebody who doesn't care for cilantro, this salsa is super delicious and refreshing. You know, on a summer day, this stuff is what you need. Next up, we have Honey Bunchies bars, and if you've never had these, they are so yummy. I compare them to a Snickers bar, but without the chocolate. So they are all honey, some nuts, so you get a nice crunch, and they're ooey gooey delicious. Here we have lavender honey. What is unique about this lavender honey is it's made from bees pollinating lavender plants, and then they infuse a lavender essential oil into the honey. And they go around to each town and collect pollen from each town and infuse it into the honey. So if you're like me and suffer from seasonal allergies, their honey is so helpful for building your immune system to those local pollen. So next I'm gonna talk about some of our favorite jams that we have in this store. This right here is a blackberry serrano. We've got 6 different flavors of Yummy Lotus jam. They are all so delicious. This one is one of my personal favorites, but we've got lots of samples in the store, so come by and try some. Next up, we have La Finca jam. She's out of Steamboat. She's one of our newest vendors in the store, and her jams are delicious. We have Full Stop Bakery sourdough crackers. We have these in 6 different flavors in the store. This one is the OG Parmesan and herb. This is what they look like. And they look like a pita chip, but they're actually really nice, crunchy, and airy on the inside. Two Hot Cowgirls, they make delicious caramel corn. We have this in a few different flavors. This is what it looks like. And it is just bursting with flavor. We've got a few different varieties in the store. This one's my personal favorite. It's a caramel cocoa, and it is delicious. All right, so next up we have the Good Crisp Company. They are out of Boulder, Colorado. They make the best chips. So very similar to Pringles, but better ingredients, locally made, and better for you. Next up we have On Tap Kitchen Pretzels. We've got the honey mustard. They're really crunchy, perfect snack. We've got Bibamba Jungle Crunch Dark Chocolate. This one is with plantains. It's nice and crunchy, a little bit salty and sweet. Super delicious. Definitely recommend trying Bibamba. And they are a local company out of Denver, and everything they do is super ethical and sustainable, which is why we love working with them. Moo Cow Color Rouge cheese. I have no idea if I'm saying that right, but it doesn't matter because it is delicious and the cheese speaks for itself.
And lastly, Samantha is making us some delicious cocktails using the Flour Co. finishing salt on the rim.
We're going to add a little Prosecco because you can't have a picnic without bubbles. And then we've got these gorgeous sugar cubes by the Boozy Botanist. She's out of Denver, and they will turn your drink this gorgeous color, and they give it kind of like a fun, glittery, shimmery effect.
We decided to have our cocktails in the sun to see the full effect of the glittery, shimmery sugar, and she topped them off with some Backyard Bevco cocktail syrup. She says she started her business because she loves farmers markets. In fact, you can see her working at one almost every weekend. She saw an opportunity to bring fresh farmers market produce directly to customers who don't always have the time to browse the markets on weekends. Since it started in 2017, All the Good Stuff has evolved into a direct-to-consumer website, delivery service, and brick-and-mortar shop in Edwards. They also offer a summer and fall community-supported agriculture program where members receive a weekly curated box. She says they're passionate about supporting local businesses because it's all about sustainability, transparency, and peace of mind that comes from knowing where and how our food is grown. And she says the food just tastes amazing. So if you ever find yourself in the mood for dining al fresco or just want some delicious local goodies, well, you know where to go.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Experience the magic of the season like never before with the Leadville Railroad on our Holiday Express. Gather the family for an enchanting journey filled with dazzling displays of twinkling lights and festive decorations. Create cherished memories that will last a lifetime on this unforgettable train adventure that captures the spirit of the holidays. Booking information at leadvillerailroad.com.
At Revival Boutique Med Spa, we take an integrative and holistic approach to skincare, focusing on the bigger picture when treating our clients. We use only result-driven and science-based products that contain clean, organic, wild-crafted, and research-based ingredients. From injectables, facials, to body contouring, we offer anything related to looking your best self. Find us in the Riverwalk in Edwards. For a complete list of services, visit us online at revivalvail.com. Follow us on Instagram at Revival Vail Valley. Fall in love with your skin again. There's lots to love at Revival. Mind, body, beauty.
Lion's Head Jewelers Fossil and Mineral Gallery. Located in the heart of Lion's Head Village for over a decade, our 4,000 square foot gallery boasts a one-of-a-kind experience that cannot be found anywhere else in Vail. We carry the most exquisite array of fine jewelry, high-end minerals, and museum-quality fossils. We invite you to come in and explore all the history and beauty that nature has to offer.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back. I was so excited to check out the good stuff with Avija, but we're going to continue things with Chris Romer and Mountain Perspectives up next.
Next question for you guys, and maybe Mark will stick with you on this to kick us off, but I think one of the terms that we hear a lot, I hear a lot in the community is this idea of grow your own workforce. And when we talk about growing our own workforce, this is aligned with what you were just talking about with some of the CMC programming. But expand on that idea. What are some of the things happening? What's interesting to you with this idea of grow your own workforce?
Well, I mean, the first thing I'll say, and again, it's a shameless plug for what we do on our campus, close to 95% of our students are in-district students. So that's kind of our aim, is to grow our own. How we do that then is to think really broadly about what sort of opportunities do we need to offer students. So, I talked a little bit about our healthcare programs. I've talked a little bit about what's going on in the schools. Everybody has a different pathway. Not everybody wants to do a bachelor's degree. So it's really thinking about where are the needs and how do we match those needs with the students. So, something that CMC and our campus is very interested in at the moment is trades. What does that look like for CMC to dip its toe into trades? Is it a massive trade school? If so, where does that live? But again, at the dual enrollment level, we are doing construction courses at Battle Mountain, probably starting them at Eagle Valley High School as well. Just let's get something starting right now and keep looking into the feasibility of perhaps doing a trade school somewhere. And again, looking at partnerships, we have unsurprisingly, a lot of organisations coming to us saying, we need an HVAC program, we need a plumbing program. So, my question to them is, okay, how can you help us make this happen?
Right.
So this is what we're doing. I mean, we have our traditional associates and bachelors, some certificate programs, but now I think trades is probably going to be the next direction that we go in.
Yeah, great examples, and directly related to that idea of growing your own workforce, with 95% of your enrollment being people who are in district here in the area. So yeah. Great example. Anna, how about you? From a grow your own workforce standpoint, what are some of the things that you're seeing, and what are some of the programs that are out there?
I think the obvious answer is go after the youth. You have to get to these kids early. And you have to show them the opportunities that are available to them. And like Mark said, not everybody charts the same course, and that's great. That's what we need. We need a variety of people in the workforce. So that we do that at the partnership through our CareerWise Youth Apprenticeship programs. We have partnerships with businesses in so many different sectors, whether that is banking or HVAC or whatever the case may be. But these kids are starting their career early. They're starting in their junior year, and by the time they're out of high school for 1 year, they're a fully functioning full-time employee that can then grow with the organization. So I think that's been a really important and eye-opening program for our business community, as well as the youth in our schools. We also have our Career Exploration programming through the school district, which is kind of a CareerWise light, where you're not necessarily employed, but you're able to go into the businesses and see what a career may look like as an electrician or a plumber or whatever the case may be. I think it's also offering opportunities to level up. The youth is an important aspect of our workforce, but we have a lot of people that are already here and are already working, and may have realized that they need to acquire some new skills or go a different direction, and we need to offer that opportunity. And I think it's very focused, like Mark said, on you have to lean into the careers that make sense here. We can't all be astrophysicists, especially in Eagle County. But we certainly, do have amazing real estate. We have our Vail Health is an amazing employer that offers a wide variety of career opportunities. So, there's a lot of industries that you can succeed in here in a big way that maybe you couldn't in other places.
And I really like the framing of grow your own, not only with the youth and the kids, but also the seasonal workers who want to stay year round, or the gap year people who come for a year or two and decide they want to stay. I think those are important components of how we think about growing our own. Carolyn, anything you want to add around the idea of growing your own workforce?
I'll just tell Mark and Anna yes as well. But I think it's really critical. I think Anna touched, and there's great programs with Vail Valley Partnership and CareerWise to focus on the youth. The thing that we're trying to focus on is those high schoolers that may not know what they want to do, and they graduate from high school, and then there's no support system. There's nothing in school, and they're working, but they're still not sure. So how can we bring resources to them that says, great, you've got an entry-level job. That's terrific. Good for you. What are some next things that you might want to tackle to get to your next level, to maybe supervisor, talking about some of those leadership skills. Those soft skills are so important in the workforce that we need to find those people that are already working and say, great, I want to move up. How do I move up? Where do I move up? What can I do? And so are those resources available? Are those systems available to take it from, yeah, I'm working, but I want to be more. I want to do more, and I want to make more money so I can survive. So, with the Workforce Center, we've got all kinds of internship opportunities, work-based learning opportunities, an apprenticeship program that we're working in healthcare, where the organization identifies their people that they want to upskill and get into the program. And so you take some entry level, have them in the hospital for a while, and then say, great, here's your next opportunity. And there's actually some grant funds for that as well. And that means growing your own. That's organized. That's the organization saying, I'm investing in you as an employee, and we're going to train into what we need.
Yeah, I think that's great. And it's a perfect time for us to take our second commercial break. We'll be right back with Mountain Perspectives.
Today, we bring you the first part of our global broadcast exclusive conversation.
The streets of Tahrir have once again been filled.
Key issues here at the United Nations Climate Change Conference remain unresolved.
Police are saying the protesters to move further and further away.
I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Juan Gonzalez.
And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!
TV8 is serving the community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, delivering content in all sorts of mediums. Take us with you on the go, as Good Morning Vail and Good Day Vail are now available as podcasts. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Pandora. And don't forget, you can always find TV8 on YouTube, tv8vail.com, and all of our social media platforms. Just another reason why there's more for you on 92.
Hi there. And today's episode of Good Day Vail, it's one you don't want to miss as we walk through 5 of the most exquisite properties that are in the Vail Valley. They are offered by Triumph Mountain Properties, the Apex Collection. So stay tuned. This is an episode you don't want to miss to see the most exquisite homes in the valley.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Fleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail. or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Welcome back to the second hour of this Sunday, November 5th edition of Good Morning Vail. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On this second hour, we're wrapping up our conversation with Chris Romer and Mountain Perspectives about the Vail Valley workforce. Avisha Scarborough checks out the Shakedown Lounge. And then we've also got Bill Humbert talking about how to find the best fit in your career. And then we've also got Kim Smith talking to the owner of Dogma Athletica. Your second hour of Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Get up, get ready to start your day. The mountains are calling you out to play. Come on, we'll make you feel right at home. Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail. Good morning, Vail.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Pleshaw, host of TV8 Vail. From fashion to food, from film to festivals, experience a unique look at the boutiques, spas, restaurants, and venues that make the Valley so special. Join me for Glitz and Glam. Find it in Good Morning Vail. or at our website at tv8vail.com. I can't wait for our next adventure.
Welcome to Street Magic. I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake.
Welcome aboard. Bobby Laurie and Nikki Noya have your ticket to everything you need for an on-the-go lifestyle. Grab your boarding pass. It's time to jet set.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, we're going to kick off our second hour here at Good Morning Vail by wrapping up the conversation with Chris Romer and Mountain Perspectives about the Vail Valley workforce.
Welcome back to Mountain Perspectives. I'm Chris Romer. I am the president and CEO of Vail Valley Partnership, joined today by Anna Robinson with Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works, Mark Brennan from Colorado Mountain College, and Carolyn Tucker from the Colorado Workforce Center. We're talking about workforce in Eagle County. We've talked about trends. We've talked about grow your own. We've talked about what workforce development even means and how it impacts a community. So let's take a little bit of a step back, and we'll start with Carolyn on this one. What do you wish? You talked earlier about the Workforce Center being the best kept secret.
Yes.
Which is not a great thing. We want people to know more about you.
Yes.
So what do you wish people knew more about your programs?
Well, I want people to know that all of our programs are free and that they are available to anybody who needs our services, and those services include resume writing, interview skills, even career assessments, like what do I want to do? I don't have an idea. Do I have strengths in these different areas? We also have career counselors, one-on-one, so we actually have a personal attachment and connection with people. We also do virtual webinars and virtual meetings if you can't make it to the Workforce Center, which is located in Edwards here in Eagle County. And we also have grant funds. People can get into CDL, get a CDL license. They can do some, we can pay for some of the programs that Mark offers at CMC, leadership training. So we have a ton of resources available, and happy to talk to anyone about those resources and partner and share the information.
Yeah, it's great. You have stuff not just for individuals, but for the businesses too, with some of those grants and things you talked about. So I think those are all great things. Mark, how about you? What do you wish people knew about Colorado Mountain campus, Colorado Mountain College, Vail Valley at Edwards? What do you wish they knew about the campus and the programming there?
You know, I think I just wish people knew about the variety of what we offer. You know, I think a lot of people just think of us still as a community college. I would prefer to say a college for the community. We offer bachelor degrees, you know, associate's degrees, and a number of certificates. I think, you know, I probably shouldn't say this in public, but there are some people for whom education is not something that they want to do, and I understand that. That's fine. But if you think you're not smart enough or that you can't do it, then I would probably say that you're wrong. If you think that you can't afford it, I would probably say you're also wrong. If you don't think that you'll get the support that you need in order to complete, I would probably say that you're wrong. So, you know, it's affordable. We have great scholarships. We have an awesome team of people who are there to see you succeed. So yeah, if you have ever thought about it, come on in through the front door.
Yeah, and this community is very good to a lot of organizations and not-for-profits and different needs. But share a little bit more about the scholarships. I'm putting you on the spot. We didn't talk about this before. But do you have a ballpark number of how much money is going into scholarships on your campus?
On our campus? Well, I'll give you sort of college-wide, it's just over $1 million. But at the Vail Valley campus, we are very, very fortunate to have close to nearly $300,000 worth of scholarships awarded to students this year.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah, it's real money that provides real opportunities to people. And as we talked about in the first segment, when we talk about workforce, we're talking about people. So there's real opportunities. So thanks for letting me throw you a little bit of a curveball there, and thanks for having the data at the tip of your brain.
Yeah.
Anna, how about you? What do you wish people knew about your programming at Vail Valley Partnership and Vail Valley Works?
I wish that the business owners knew more that we are here to support them and that we are here to help them grow their own. It's not just the community, but within your own business, if you're hesitant about promoting that person, or they need a little extra support and love to bring them along, that we're here to do that. And you don't have to look outside or keep a position open for years. I wish that they knew that we were here, and that they should always be looking for leaders at every level of their organizations. You need entry-level leaders, and you need strategic leaders. And so we are here to help keep that continuum moving.
Yeah, and all great examples from each of you guys. I'll add to Anna's. I wish people knew that we would do custom training for them and connect them with some of the professional facilitators and trainers to do whatever they might need and to use us as that conduit. So that's something that a few businesses do, and we're certainly willing and able to do it for most anybody. To have them get exactly what they need. Yeah. So one more question for you guys. When we talk about workforce development, and again, what that really means is people, what is the one thing that you're really most excited about? And Anna, we'll start with you.
It might be a little bit of a off-the-wall answer, but I'm excited. Hardship creates opportunity, I think is the best way to put it. And right now, it's hard for our businesses to hire and retain employees. And so I'm excited, not for the business's hardship, but for the opportunity that it creates for the people who work here to level up, to make more money, to learn about themselves, learn skills that they didn't know that they had. So I think it's been really exciting to sit in on some of the trainings and hear the confidence build in some of these leaders, and I'm excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Mark, what are you most excited about when it comes to the idea of workforce development and workforce in Eagle County?
I would probably say the first Friday of every May, which is when we have our graduation. That's when I see the difference that we can make and what we are able to contribute and what the community of the Valley is able to contribute.
Yeah, it's a great answer, and I would encourage anybody and everybody who hasn't taken the time to go to the Vail Performing Arts Center on that first Friday evening in May to experience, I'm going to say kids, but it's not just kids. It's the whole spectrum of ages, but these folks, what it means to them and what it means to their families, and hearing from each of them at the podium sharing their experience. It is a immensely powerful evening. So that's a great example. It's a great example. Carolyn, what about you? What is one thing you're most excited about when it comes to workforce in Eagle County?
Well, I'm going to cheat because I have two. One thing, the first thing is I'm so excited that we make a difference in individual people's lives. So when we get the phone call that says, hey, Carolyn, I got that job, or hey, I got that promotion, thanks for your help. That means the world to us and our entire team, because that's what we're all about, is taking people who don't have that confidence or may have been rocked by something and saying, we're going to help you get to where you want to go. So that's really exciting. The second thing is I'm just thrilled with the partnerships and the resources that are available to the entire community, no matter where you are on the spectrum. First-time job, like I said, laid off, wanting to be a leader. There's so many resources that everyone has to offer that you can find your way and try. And it's time to come out and be all you can be. That's kind of a cliche, but it's really stepping into what the world needs and what the community needs, and build our own fabric by having that resilient workforce. So that's what I'm really pumped about.
Yeah, and I'm going to take a little bit of executive privilege here and share what I'm most excited about. And what I'm most excited about really is the entrepreneurial spirit that exists here in Eagle County. This county was built on a lot of the things that you guys have talked about, really bootstrapping, dating back 60 years when Vail Mountain opened the chairlifts and the community changed from a little bit more of a ranching and farming community into a tourism-oriented community, and how we've grown since then. But we've maintained that entrepreneurial spirit, and we've maintained the ability to focus on doing the right things. And our community, be it all the different economic hardships or pandemics or little blips that we've seen in my 26 years here, every single time our business community has said, all right, how do we do it? What do we need to do next? We haven't wallowed in our, spilt milk, if you will, but rather we've rolled up our sleeves and gotten things done. And I think that's the case for Workforce. We're going to continue to roll up our sleeves and get things done because that's what our people need and that's what our businesses need. And it makes me excited. So last question, and this is going to be a really quick one. So lightning round. How do people learn more about your organization and the things you do? Carolyn?
You can look for Colorado Workforce Centers. You can either Google that, or I can give you my phone number, 970-880-4172, and I will put you in contact with all of the resources we have.
Great. Mark, how about you?
Well, every semester you should be receiving a little schedule in your mailbox. Pick it up and read it. Read the stories that are in there. You'll actually find a lot about what we do there. Or come to 150 Miller Ranch Road and walk in the door and see it for yourself.
Yep. Great. And Anna, how about you? How can people learn more?
Easiest way is online, vailvalleyworks.org or vailvalleypartnership.com, or just come see us, come to a mixer. Team's always happy to help.
That's great. Well, thank you guys all for taking the time to join us today. Thank you for viewing Mountain Perspectives. We've been talking about workforce in Eagle County with Carolyn Tucker, Mark Brennan, and Anna Robinson. Really appreciate all of you guys taking the time, and thank you so much.
Good morning, Vail.
Nap Harvest, your local marketplace for fresh, locally produced products. Our indoor farmers market is open 7 days a week, featuring locally grown organic produce, prepared meals, honey from our Nap Nectar hive, furniture, cutting boards, and much more. We source and sell locally grown and produced products from the Vail and Roaring Fork Valleys. Visit us at our new location in Eagle Ranch, 717 Sylvan Lake Road, next door to Color Coffee Roasters.
Familia, estamos muy emocionados de por fin presentarles nuestro nuevo programa completamente en español, Conexión Latina, que se estrena este lunes 21 de agosto a partir de las 7 de la tarde. Por el momento, el programa se transmitirá los lunes, miércoles y viernes de 7 a 7 y media de la tarde, con una repetición de 7 y media a 8, así que no hay excusas para perdértelo. Te recuerdo que puedes sintonizar nuestra programación a través del canal 92 de Comcast, nuestra página web tvavail.com y nuestra página de Facebook TVA Conexión Latina. Acompáñanos en esta nueva aventura llena de información y entretenimiento local. No te lo pierdas.
Hello everyone, I'm Raisa Pascal.
And I'm Andrea Jackson. Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping. Have any personal stories you can share?
Do I?
Yes,
I do. So even though you work for...
Some good deals, too good to miss on Flash Deals. Now check this out.
Studies show spending time outdoors can help with depression, lowering blood pressure, and overall health and happiness.
Show. We are feeling good today. Great show on the way.
Absolutely. Welcome to our show. I'm Suki.
I'm Scott.
And we are feeling good today. You know why? Because we had a great show.
When you're in Vail, you're in vacation mode, and you need a flexible home tour experience that fits into your schedule. We've transformed how you view and buy homes in the Vail Valley. With immersive, cutting-edge technology, you can explore properties 10 times faster. In our lounge, we guide you through this digital world on a 16-foot screen where you can imagine your next home in comparison to your favorite recreational spots. Say goodbye to multi-day home tours and hello to a quick stop between your other plans. That's the power of the Immersion Theater.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to continue things about the local workforce and making sure that we're finding the right fit in our careers with Bill Humbert joining us to talk a little bit about how to take advantage of some of the new technologies when we're applying for jobs. Welcome back to the show. We are now joined by Bill Humbert, the recruiter guy, to give us a little bit of information on how to kind of navigate the difficulties of submitting job applications over the internet. Welcome to the show, Bill.
Thank you, Ben. It's great to be back.
Well, it's so great to have you again. And so, as I was saying, it can be a little bit difficult navigating the job search online, just sitting there and looking at hundreds of job postings and not really knowing where to start. And after you do start, so many people have had the experience of sending out tons and tons and tons of job applications only to see nothing in return. So how would you recommend people go about beginning their job search online?
Well, Ben, I took this photo of the penguins down in Simonstown, South Africa in July, and it immediately made me think of all of the candidates who are kind of like in that group of penguins, and they're just so frustrated because they're sending resume after resume after resume after resume and never hearing back from the company. And then there was this one penguin that said, "I've had enough. I'm out of here." And he started waddling away from the group and to do things differently. And that's what I suggest that professionals do. They need to go and start doing things differently in their search in order to get better results. And I call it posting and hoping someone is looking at my resume. And so that's, be the successful person who networks their way to a new position.
Well, and I gotta say, that's largely been my experience in the job search as well, that I've submitted hundreds of applications online and occasionally I'll get an email response back, but I've almost never gotten an interview from an online job application. But pretty much every job I've ever had has been through some personal connection, whether it's been a friend, an old roommate, or maybe even an old coworker that I've been able to rely on to, figure out where people are hiring a little bit more and get my foot right in the door there with that little bit of a personal connection. And I imagine that's what you're talking about when you're talking about networking.
Absolutely. That personal connection can make all of the difference in the world in your career search.
What if we're really struggling with that? Like whether it's just our social network just doesn't quite have the right connections, or if I'm trying to get into a new market or a new career that I don't necessarily have a whole lot of connections in that industry, how would you recommend that people begin their networking journey?
Well, you've probably heard of the 6 degrees of separation, so that I can reach anybody in the United States and probably anybody in the world. I don't really have that reach, but within the United States, I can meet anybody within 6 different phone calls. And that's how you increase your network, and that's how you go finding a job either in another industry, another area, or even within your own area.
Awesome. So just reaching out, trying to make that first phone call to get that introduction, get that foot in the door just a little bit. Like, how do you tend to go find that information? Do you take advantage of just Google searching, or are you doing something a little bit more in detail, like going through LinkedIn or combing through a company directory?
Well, there's, in today's world, you could use ChatGPT and potentially be able to narrow it down to who it is that does what within the companies that you're trying to target. In addition to that, though, there's always LinkedIn. It's important for everybody. And I'm not just talking anybody, I'm talking everybody. It's important for everybody to have 501 connections on LinkedIn. And what that does is it gives you gives everybody the notification you have 500 plus connections. And the other advantage is it gives you a whole group of second and third level connections that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
So really just taking advantage of that social media, and specifically LinkedIn, the professionals' social media, to really kind of take advantage of that 6 degrees.
That's correct. The other way is, too often people forget about neighbors, forget about family. Each one of those people knows another 250 to 500 people. And many times when I've coached people who are looking for a new job, I coached them to do that, and they came back to me and they say to me, "You're not going to believe what happened." I went, "What?" "My family, my brother said, I didn't know you were looking for a job. I know exactly the person you need to talk to."
Exactly, like taking advantage of that network there. But let me ask you this. If we're not really looking for a job at this specific moment, but we never know when that moment might arise, how would you recommend that we build and maintain that network during our careers so that we do have people to rely on in times of need? Because I would imagine that starting networking right when you're looking for a job is probably not the best time to get started.
Exactly. Well, starting networking is something that you can always do, and I agree with you. It's better to keep your network warm and, call them up. "Hey, just touching base, see how things are going with you. Is there anything I can do for you?" And if you're offering to do something for someone else, what are they going to be more willing to do for you?
And really help build that reciprocal relationship in your network so that people are coming to you for help too. And that way, it's not just a taking relationship, it's something that you're providing value to as well. Which
that's right.
I would imagine when it comes down to finding a job, having that track record of providing value is a big deal.
It is a big deal. As a recruiter, I call myself a connector. And I've known people, have come to me, don't pay for my coaching, but they've asked me, who do I know? And I'm happy to tell them, well, maybe you should call so-and-so, here's their phone number. Or if you like, I'll do a personal introduction on email and introduce the two of you and give the contact information for both of you. So it's really important to do that, because then people become much more comfortable with you as a connection. The other thing to be considering, though, you don't just stop at that first level or that first degree. You ask them at the end of your conversation, who else do you feel I should speak with next? You don't ask them to think about it, because I'll guarantee you what will happen is they'll think about it for about 3 weeks and then forget all about it. But if you ask them who they feel that you should speak with next, the knee jerk is going to be the person that you probably need to speak with.
That totally makes sense. Now, if you're not recommending that we just go and start cold calling people at businesses that we would like to work at, though, right? You're trying to recommend a little bit more of a subtle and a more endearing method, if you will.
Well, I would say there is a time and a place for cold calling. And if you're in sales, you better be comfortable cold calling. And that's the time to call them. If you can get, and it's easy enough to find out who the VP of sales is at a company. And you call them up and say, "Hey, I know that you're always in the market for a good sales professional. I'm that person. When can we talk?"
Awesome. Well, it sounds like a great way to get started on that job search is just reaching out to the people that are working at the places that you want to work in and just start that conversation, get that ball rolling, and that way get your name in the door, your foot in the door, your face in the door, and get that job. Well, Bill Humbert.
One more thing.
Definitely.
It's important to talk to people within the companies because in many companies, they can get a $500 to $2,000 employee referral bonus, and they're going to be much more willing to introduce you to their company if they're going to get a bonus.
Well, that is definitely some good incentive to help and reach out to those people who might be able to help get you in at the place you're looking to be. Bill Humbert, thank you so much. If people are looking for more information, make sure to check out recruiterguy.com. Bill Humbert, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back after a short break.
Thank you, Ben.
Good morning, Vail.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Hi there! Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, real homeowners tackle really big renos.
Welcome to the ugliest house in the neighborhood.
It's a wild ride from before to after.
If we go to the tile store one more time, only one of us is coming out alive.
Well, I didn't know he was going to do all that. Between the budget and the timeline, it's makeover madness.
Hi, I'm Ben Belgrad, and I'm the owner of Drinking Vessels here at Bat Country Studios in Minturn. And I've been in the Valley for 7 years. I moved to the Valley because a friend helped me to get my vision off the ground, building my glass studio here, and being so close to snowboarding. So here at the studio, we're acting as a broker for 50 to 100 artists from around the country. We also offer glassblowing classes, and we bring many artists from around the country here to be able to work and create art collaboratively and be so close to skiing and all the activities we have here in the Valley. Here at Drinking Vessels, we specialize in handmade glass drinkware from artists around the country and around the world. Some of these are produced as more of an item you could get in sets and kind of get different color options as time goes on. And some of these are completely one of a kind and really high-end art that's unlike anything people have seen before. While I'm an artist myself here at the studio, I'm representing between 50 and 100 other artists from around the country. And most of these artists are able to spend most of their time working on their art while we help handle their marketing and their sales and the distribution and representation, allowing them more time to focus on their art. That's really my privilege in running this business, is creating that support and providing that platform for this big group of artists that are part of a movement that's very important to me.
Good morning, Vail.
We play from the hearts. We play these songs. We live these songs.
Scott Redner is known as the man behind Shakedown Bar, a venue he says was created by musicians for musicians.
We are different. We treat our music differently. We take our music seriously.
While playing musical gigs around town, Scott had what seemed like at the time a very lucky encounter.
A gentleman saw me playing and he gave me $1 million and bought the space, the lease on the space for me.
Wait, back up. What do you mean he gave you?
Well, he saw me playing at the Red Line one night, and he walked up and he tipped me $1,000, and he said, "You rocked, dude. You need your own place." And I was like, "Well, I like the sound of that, you know." So I leaned over to my security guy. I said, "Hey, this guy, he said he's gonna buy me a bar. You come run it." And it was my buddy Bryce, who was a security guy at Red Line, and he's like, "Okay."
So in 2012, Shakedown Bar was established. But like many things in life that seem too good to be true, so too was this. For a variety of reasons, Scott had to buy out his original investor. Since then, Shakedown Bar has thrived as a 198-person music venue with exceptional performers, including the Shakedown Family Band. Scott himself has toured the world with bands like Blues Traveler, Dave Matthews, and Lenny Kravitz. But this father of two girls says his daughters have inspired him to embrace the current pop stars.
It is just T-Swift, and it's like I want to be able to just. I asked my daughter, I'm like, you know, because I took them to the Taylor Swift concert this year, and I'm like, which song, Harper? And she goes, "Cruel Summer Though."
Here he is performing his own rendition of Flowers by Miley Cyrus, another one of his daughter's favorites. Scott says if you love music, Shakedown Bar is the place for après-ski this winter.
What's better than songs you love to sing while you're after ski celebrating, getting a little toasty, right? But, you know, it's about that. It's about interacting. It's about sharing that time. It's about singing along. It's about sharing the experience together, the feel-good stuff, the stuff you know.
And he was so impressed with my tambourine skills that you might even see yours truly on stage soon.
So am I hired to come perform with you? Can I do it?
Done.
Okay.
700.
Or maybe I'll just stick to Vail vibes. To see the real musicians, check out shakedownbarvail.com for the calendar of events.
Good morning, Vail.
Do you love the outdoor lifestyle? Make sure you tune in every day at 8 p.m. to catch Scoreboard Nation. It's an outdoor lifestyle show dedicated to your 3 favorite mountain towns, Vail Beaver Creek, Park City, and Reno Tahoe. Join us for an incredible venture. Find us on TV8 Vail, Park City Television, or at thescoreboardnation.com. We can't wait to see you there.
My name is Tyler Alvarez. I work here at Sweet Basil in Vail. I'm a bartender here. I originally came to Vail to snowboard. I slept on my sister and my cousin's couch for what was supposed to be a week, turned into 2 months, and then I found my own spot, and then kind of made friends and worked different places in the valley and kind of just fell in love with it more and more every single day, and ended up finding my way to Sweet Basil through some friends who worked here and all the great things that I heard about it. And yeah, I've been here for 4 years now. It's hard to wake up in Vail and be upset when you look outside. It's just beautiful. My favorite part about working at Sweet Basil is definitely that I could be proud about everything that we're putting out, whether it's food, drinks. We also get to be really creative here. The bartenders, the whole team here, we workshop our menus every season, so we'll start with a spirit or an ingredient, and then we get to be really creative and make a whole project of it. And then when we get the final product, it's a drink that we're all really proud of for the whole menu, and that's super fun, just being able to be creative and work with new things. And the most fun cocktails to make, though, are definitely the ones that we get to create from scratch. When people take a sip and say, "Oh my God, this is delicious," or they just love it. And that's probably the most fun for me, the creativity behind it and making unique cocktails. That, for me, that would be the most fun drink to make, just the one that you start from scratch and then people are excited about. I'm Tyler. I live and work in Vail. Come see me in Sweet Basil.
More than ever, kids need information to help them better understand their surroundings and to better protect themselves. Each week, this program works with the various law enforcement agencies across the country and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, spotlighting several missing cases, hoping someone, like you, might have information that will lead to finding these individuals.
Good morning, Vail.
Hi there, welcome to this edition of Adventures in Coaching. I'm Kim Smith and I'm a career and business success coach. And recently we've been talking about a lot of various coaching topics, including how important it is to define and align your purpose, how to identify limiting beliefs, and a lot about how to change your mindset for success. And we're going to be shifting gears a little bit and switching it up, and I'm going to be interviewing some community members about these topics and their journeys to their success. So with me today is Dan from Dogma Athletica. He's the owner there. Welcome, Dan.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's so great to have you. We've talked a few times, and I've always been really inspired by how you've integrated purpose and a lot of these things into your life and your career. So please tell me a little bit about your journey.
Sure, well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. My journey, I'm going to go back to when I graduated from college, because really at that point in my life was when I identified the need to really have purpose and definition around my career path as a young individual, and defining what meaning was to me and what goals were to me. And so I've been a longtime believer in sitting down every once in a while and saying, all right, what's my purpose? What's my mission? What are my values that I'm living out in my day-to-day family life, career life, social life, all of that.
Yeah, and I love how you integrate it to really all aspects of your life, not just your career. And the other thing that really stands out to me is that you did it at a very young age, whereas a lot of people that I talk to, they don't really have any idea of like kind of where they're going and just try out a lot of different things. So how did that make a difference for you in your career path?
It really helped me identify when opportunities would come up, what were the right opportunities and what were the wrong opportunities for me.
Yeah.
Because when I took the time to write out my personal values, what was important to me, and how those values translated into what I wanted my mission to be for my career, it made it really easy when something came up. It might have looked really attractive at first glance, but when I would reflect back on, hey, does this reflect my values? Does this help me live out my mission? And if the answer was no to those, then I identified quickly like, all right, this isn't the right opportunity for me.
Yeah, that is just such a great example of everything that I try to talk to people about and how important that is. So tell me, we've talked a little bit about how you worked in one industry in the corporate world for a while and then decided to make a really big shift.
Yeah, so this comes back to that values and mission piece. It's interesting, when Yahoo first came about, Yahoo emails, I actually wrote out my mission statement and I emailed it to myself so I could have a ready repository that I was able to come back to years later and kind of look at that mission and say, hey, is that still true? And so I developed this practice of every couple of years taking a little miniature sabbatical, getting away on my own, and kind of thinking about those values. Were they still consistent with where I was in life and that mission? And did I feel like I was still in that season of life that mission was central to me? And so for the longest time, my mission was to use my God-given skills and abilities to create job opportunities and to help businesses grow through a finance role. And over the course of the last several years, I just felt the winds of change. And when I sat down about 3 years ago to do my little miniature sabbatical, I said, that's not my mission anymore. I don't feel that as a calling. And what I identified is that I needed to take some time to transition to find what that calling was. And so I actually did like a 3 hours type of framework for myself. I said, all right, I'm going to retire from the corporate world in order to recover for a little bit. I'm going to reorient, and that reorientation was using that sabbatical to do some volunteer work and to kind kind of identify, hey, what is the mission for me, and then redirect. And that redirect was identifying, hey, I don't want to use finance as a way of helping people out. I want to use fitness as a way of helping people out. And so I wrote my new mission statement, which was to use fitness and health and welfare to help individuals realize their goals and objectives in life. And that's what led us to acquire Dogma Athletica, and that's what brought us, my wife and I, to the Vail Valley.
Wow, that's a great story. And along the way, did you ever, have any limiting beliefs or fears that came up about making such a drastic change in your career after having a successful career for quite a while?
Certainly lots of uncertainty, and uncertainty can lead to fear or self-doubt. It's interesting, you mentioned as limiting thoughts in the coaching business that we do, and we do a lot of performance coaching for athletes. We approach it as performance psychology, and we phrase it as negative thoughts. So how do you stop negative thoughts? And it applies to you and I as individuals, as business people. And the practice that I identified is really kind of cognitive behavior oriented, where it's identifying when a negative thought comes up, thinking about like, all right, what is that thought? Where is it coming from? To some extent, even recognizing what's the physical sensation that you feel with that negative thought, but then developing a toolkit where you redirect. So you hear that negative thought or you feel that negative thought coming up and envisioning like a stop sign and saying, all right, stop that thought process. Then having a redirect which is prepared for that. So that thought process for me was, I don't know sales and marketing. How am I going to do this as a business owner? It's all about sales and marketing. The redirect was, hey, I've mastered lots of new skills over the course of my career history. This is a new skill that I have the ability to master it. So let me lay out the action plan for how I'm going to master sales and marketing to move forward.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so much like what I talk about when I say taking a challenge and making it an opportunity. Figuring out, how it can benefit you. What is the solution? What is the outcome going to be? And, when you did that, did it help you to really hang on to those goals?
Absolutely. It was instrumental in not just hanging on to the goals, but achieving the goals and having a healthier mental attitude towards that challenge. Just like you said, it's not a challenge, it's an opportunity. And I said, hey, this is something for me to develop that I haven't done in the past. This is really exciting versus really scary.
Right. And tell me a little bit about, along the way, about your support system.
Family, friends, colleagues. Having a trusted set of advisors is really important in terms of friends, colleagues, coaches like yourself that you can turn to and say, here are the things that I'm dealing with or the challenges that I'm trying to address. Give me your thoughts and input. Here's my plan. What do you think of my plan? Type of thing.
That's amazing because a lot of times it stays in the head until you kind of start putting it out there and verbalizing.
That's right.
So that can make a big difference.
And having someone to say, this is a really good idea, you can make it great if you were to tweak these couple of things about it.
Yeah, oh, amazing. So tell me a little bit along your journey, any time where you've had a shift even in your current business and how you've addressed that.
Yeah, I'll say one of the shifts that we took on right away was the ownership transition. And the prior owners had great reputations in the environment for what they had done with the gym and what the gym meant. The transition was for me to shift that from being the prior owners to my ownership, having that reputation. And the way we really addressed that was me thinking about how do I engage people in the community and people in the gym and establish and continue the gym's reputation so that people see, all right, the prior owners are gone, but Dogma Athletica is not gone. Yeah. Dogma Athletica is still there and the same. And so having a thoughtful plan in terms of communication plan, engagement plan, and then really kind of getting it down to discrete steps and saying, all right, here are the steps that I'm going to execute. And we did that, and we had just a wonderful reputation as being really engaging, positive, welcoming culture that I simply love having at the gym.
Yeah, and that really comes through when, we're in the gym with you and seeing what you're doing. And I get your emails about your clients, and you always focus some success story. So tell me about how some of these things have affected your clients as well.
There was a recent woman that I interviewed. Her name is Jessica DeYoung. She's a local community member here. Jessica went through a battle with cancer, ocular cancer. And one of the incredible things that she shared with me was that coming back to Dogma Athletica was actually one of her motivations for getting through her treatment and getting through her recovery. And I heard that and I was like, you're just telling me that because it's me. And she's like, no, honestly, that was, she said, the support network that she had there in terms of the friends, the environment, the mental and the emotional engagement that she feels in the gym were big motivators for her. And I said, you know what, that's wonderful to hear because that is my mission.
Yeah, that is amazing. So tell me a little bit about things that might really inspire you or inspire people that are listening to this interview.
What really inspires me is when people have a growth-oriented mindset, when people look for learning opportunities. And so we have every month a theme. September's theme is coincidental with the school year is learning. And so that's something that just, I love seeing it when people bring tidbits to me in terms of opportunities for me to grow, or when I'm able to provide people with opportunities for them to grow and learn. It's having that growth mindset, I think, makes for a wonderful community like what we have here.
Yeah, that really does make a difference from thinking, you know, of like growth and expansion versus, you know, oh, this is too challenging, I can't do it. And I love how people are adopting that, especially you and your organization. And it's been super inspiring sitting here with you today. And I'm so excited for your success and where you're going. And I look forward to hearing more and more about, you know, where things go. And if anybody is interested in learning more about you and your business, how can they reach you?
They can go out to our website, so dogmaathletica.com. There's actually a section on there where they can schedule a visit with me, and I would love to chat with them about either fitness challenges or performance psychology, and see how we could be of assistance to them.
Perfect. That sounds great. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more about how coaching can help your success, please reach out to me at kim@adventuresincoaching.com. And I hope you have a wonderful and successful day.
Good morning, Vail.
Today, we bring you the first part of our global broadcast exclusive conversation.
The streets of Tahrir have once again been filled.
Key issues here at the United Nations Climate Change Conference remain unresolved.
Police are saying the protesters to move further and further away.
I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Juan Gonzalez.
And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!
Welcome to Street Magic. I'm Elizabeth Stanton with some of the most terrifying stunts, extraordinary extreme escapes, and the most amazing cutting-edge magicians you'll ever see in one show. Get ready to have your mind turned inside out. The hand is definitely quicker than the eye.
It's fake.
Dog Tales is America's premier dog lovers magazine show. This series is all about dogs and the people who love them. Featuring dogs of all sizes, shapes, and breeds, keeping you up to date with all the latest news from the dog world. Sit back and enjoy a fun program for the whole family. Check your local listings and tune in to Dog Tales.
Hi there. Today on Good Day Vail, we're going to be talking with 3 phenomenal ladies from the Vail Valley Vixens. We will talk about the cycling club and all of the value that it brings to its members in the community. So please come back and watch Good Day Vail. See you soon.
Good morning, Vail.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in to the Sunday edition of Good Morning Vail. Don't forget to catch us tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and every morning here on Channel 92 at 7 a.m. Until then, this is Good Morning Vail, and we will catch you tomorrow.
Good morning, Vail. See what lies in store for you. There's so many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
Are you looking for exciting and nutritious recipes to cook at home?